Peace, my family, and viral back to all. Those coming out of the cocoon for the first time, welcome. This your girl, the butterfly. We about to take off. Let's fly. This one sending all that good healing energy your way. Peace, love, happiness, harmony, and abundance. Hope you guys are out there keeping your mind right and that good non-mind. How y'all feeling? Hope you guys want to step and move on up. That's right, in your higher nature family, and most definitely cleanse. Because if you don't know, now you know. Oh yes, we must cleanse. Cleansing that lower nature, those lower frequency energy family. It is so real out here in these last days and times. All right now. So first and foremost, family, it's all about purifying yourself. And all right now, begin our prayers and think about using alcohol. Our praises to any I almost glorified names are too. Glory and honor to Jesus, Yahshua, Timmons, Horus, Sedenda, the true Messiah, the one appointed. That's right. All right. So with that being said, family, let's get to it. I came out here today to share. This is the Great Book of the Living, the Holy Tablets, family, and this right here is Chapter 7, the Living Soul. What are you? You're a living spirit, a living soul. That's right. What are you? You're a living spirit. You're a living soul. That's right. All right. So this is Tablet 8. And this is speaking on the Enosite, the mortal man. Us, right? So, with that being said, let's get to it. It reads, family. Lo, all of you children of Nuwapu, who have embarked upon the name Nuwapian, I, your master teacher, who you know as Naya Malachi Zadok El, have been sent to you to break the spell. I'm about to embark upon your mind the dynamics of what you call the master organ, or simply the brain, right, which works with the mind. Know that your mind was a special gift given to you by your ancestors. Know that. Whom I call your descendants. Okay? For they came down to you from above. They are called the Anunnaki, the Anunnaki, who are the Elohim. Let's get it right. Okay? And the El Malaket, the angelic beings, the ruler of which is El Malek, or Malok, who is Anu, called El Elam, or Anu Allah, and Yahshua, or Theos, or God, right? To many, okay? All within the El Kalum, the all right? Within the confines of these pages, you shall embark upon the knowledge of the mind, which is working with the brain and the nervous system. 3 out of your whole body and being. The brain is one of the most intricate organs within itself, okay? And it was created by El Elam, the Most High. This knowledge which I'm giving to you has never before been taught to you by any. Know that. Remember, my dear Nuwapian, with right knowledge, you can receive the right wisdom and a right understanding overall. I don't know about you, but yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted the right knowledge. Okay, let's go on. This is the science of your way of life, Nuwapu, which is the mellow of the Anunnaki, the Anunnaki, the Elohim. Let me begin by giving you the nature of the human, who is the mortal man, the human being known as the Enosites. children of Enos, the son of Seth, who was called in tone Shath, and rhythm Sheath, and his wife Kamal. O ye children of Enos, know that you all have fallen from being to supreme being to human being to human to man to mortal to mammal. Don't fall any further, my children. Study this small scroll. When the Enosite searches for happiness, right, they eventually turn to external objects and events for satisfaction. They merely think, if I could just have that car, right, or if I could just be able to get that job, or if I only lived here or there, then I would be happy. They have no perception of the fact that the mind may be still and at peace for a short time on obtaining the desired object, but eventually the mind becomes tired of its newly made toy and seeks treasure elsewhere, still in search of happiness. However, know this, my child, each time the external objects fail to bring happiness, the Enosite, the mortal, may acquire new material possessions, right? A position with more responsibility, money, and a new dream home, right? Being locked in person, places, and things. You don't want to do that. However, my child, there always remains the same mind. All right, now. Many theories exist as to how it works, right? That the human process seems to remain intangible. Why does one so often find him or herself caught in the same frustration and in the same problems? Question. It is said that this is a free society, but in truth, it is each Enosite's own desires and emotions that blind the Enosite, the mortal. Consider the Enosite a person who smokes cigarettes daily, claiming that they are going to be determined to stop tomorrow. How many years has this Enosite been caught in the same parade? The Enosite, the mortal, truly wants to be free of the habit, right? But he or she lacks the necessary control of his or her own mind. In a sense, the mind is like a record or a laser disc. It contains the grooves or impressions, and these grooves or these impressions are formed when certain thought waves become habitual. The benevolent example would be if an Enosite passes a bakery, right, and sees a chocolate cake in the window. How delicious, right? The Enosite says, I will buy that cake. If he or she ignores, ignores that thought wave and turn his or her mind to something else, then no pattern is formed. However, if he or she identifies with the thought, the Enosite gives life to it. The Enosite buys the chocolate cake, looking forward to enjoying its dessert for that evening. Now, suppose the Enosite finds his or herself to pass that same bakery every Wednesday and Friday. Each time the Enosite goes by, he or she recalls that wonderful cake again, and he or she purchases it again. Now ponder this. What was originally just a flash in the mind, right? Or a flash in the mind has become a force in his or her life. Grooves in the mind that are not necessarily negative. There can be grooves in the mind that are uplifting, right? There can be grooves in the mind which are uplifting, and then there are those which brings one down. This is very important when you begin to learn about these boundless universes, because family, they are mental. And it's about learning how to gently guide the mind. And when you begin to do so, right, paying attention to what you allow it to have access to, or what you tune into, because everything is stored. One moment. All right, my family. So, this is why it's very important that you be mindful of these things, because, again, this is what's going to help you to break away from the world and how to maneuver it in a way where you begin to pay attention to things, slow down. Pay attention to what you do on a day-to-day basis, what your mind is attracted to, what you are constantly exposing yourself to each and every day. You know how when you're a child, at least back in the day, right? Certain things you wouldn't expose your child to. You would, cover your eyes, or you would not let them watch certain things, not realizing that, what they watch, they're storing it in their minds, and it can affect them. And you don't know this until later, right? You begin to see certain things come out. And you may not know why, you may have certain thoughts, but you picking it up through what you've been, exposed to. And it's very important that, you guard your soul, you guard your mind, you guard your spirits. Because at the end of the day, family, they can plague you in many different shapes and forms. So it's very important that you be mindful of what you're constantly exposing yourself to each and every day, and making sure that it's something, wholesome, something that, is good for you, is uplifting to you, is good for your soul, something that, doesn't constantly be having you in those negative states of mind, not realizing that that's where it's coming from. It's coming from everything that you are picking up, everything that you, let's just be for real. When you go out into the world, you already get used to, or get introduced to, a disagreeable type of lifestyle when you begin to go out into the world and how it moves, right? You get enough of influences from that. So it's about you making sure that when you are going out into the world, that you just be mindful of what you tune into, people you're around, things you do, right? Places you go, the atmosphere, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, because all of it matters, and all can be either, a period of growth for you and elevation, right? Or detrimental to you on your path, where you continue to be stuck in certain situations and dead spaces, right? Stuck in that same loop, right? Or cycle, where you completely just keep on repeating it over and over again until you learn your lesson. Now, family, know that every situation that you're in is always, need of growth, right? And especially if you've been doing certain things for a very long time, habitually, right? And being introduced to certain things a certain way, but you're trying to break away, right? So it's very important that you create, I'm telling y'all, this is key. Create a routine, right, that is beneficial for you, for the things that you need to do to eliminate certain things out your life, right? This is key, right? And eventually those thoughts and things will fade away once you, substitute it with certain things that keep your mind right. Like when you begin to take in, raise your consciousness levels with the right knowledge, and you begin to listen to what the Most High says, and like taking it in, digesting it, sitting with it, right? You'll begin to hear more. It'll begin to affect your soul, and eventually, you won't want to do certain things anymore. You'll be wanting to grow for the better, right? If you're really taking it in and really wanting and willing, you know, to live the path that you know you are destined for, right? But it's all a choice at the end of the day. No one controls you. You all have free will to do whatever you choose to do, whether, you know, agreeable or disagreeable. It's your choice within the natures that you do have. And so it's that battle within. At the end of the day, though, you always have the power to get right and make positive choices, things that is going to help you get to the next stage in your life. Because nothing is going to happen until you actually make a change. Nothing's going to happen until you actually make a move, put forth action. Again, you're going to be in that same space until you realize, in order to make a move, in order to make things happen, you got to change your actions. This is how you begin to maneuver, level up, maneuver those realms, right? And yes, it's going to feel very uncomfortable. But that uncomfortable, you have to grow to love it. And when I'm telling you this, I'm speaking to myself, right? As well. You have to learn how to let that uncomfort, because family, this is what's going to help you grow. You grow in being uncomfortable, not when you're comfortable, right? You grow being uncomfortable, not when you're comfortable. And you know what I mean? And when you know you're getting to that next level and you know it's something you need to work on and you're feeling uncomfortable, that's a good sign, because that means this is what is needed for you to grow. And once you begin to conquer that family, master that family, whatever that is that's blocking you from getting to that next level, which is most of the time is us, right? You begin to see all you've been waiting on. All you've been waiting on is you. Because whether you realize or not, the Most High is waiting on you to get right. Only you can make that decision for yourself, though. So, I just thought that I said that. Now, let's go on, right? It goes on to say, where was I? There are grooves in the mind, right, that are uplifting, and then there are those which brings one down. That's why it's very important being mindful. One moment. All right, now, getting to higher planes of existence takes work. It's going to take a lot of work on your part, right, to break away. But know that you can do it, because the Most High will give you nothing that you can bear, right? And this is a part of reaching and fulfilling your destiny here, right now. So, again, my family, it's all about being mindful of what you tune it into. Because, again, people feel like they may not have the power, right? Not realizing that the power that you have is already in you. You do have the power. And it's just you deciding for yourself. Certain things you don't no longer want to do, right? People like to sit here and say, you know, what can we do, right? What can we do to, you know, not let certain things happen, you know, in our lives, right? And you want us, you know, to be seen in a better light and doing the right things, right? The thing is, you have to, again, take your power back, right? And that's going to require you to stop tuning into things, right? For instance, if certain music that you don't like, right, is bringing, you know, giving you a negative effect, and it's affecting, you know, the world, right? With, you know, the music and things, it's affecting people. And having, you know, our children out here, you know, doing the most and promoting this type of things, right? All you have to do is stop tuning into it. Stop supporting it, right? This is your power. Learn to use it. You don't have to listen to anything that, you don't want to listen to. And that goes with everything. See, all people care about is, the money, right? And once you begin to see its power in your money, right? And you want to see positive things on TV, right? You want to see good things on TV, uplifting things for your community, right? Well, stop listening and stop tuning into things that is destroying the community. Start supporting the things that is helping the community elevate and grow. And the more you give your attention to that, give your money into those type of things, beautiful things will begin to happen in the world. See, it's all about what you're tuning into. Y'all better know this. Because if you continue to keep listening to things, they think you're gonna like it, right? Keep tuning into things. They think you like it, right? So the only way to flip it, right? And you want to promote, positive things. You start, tuning into the things that, uplift you, things that are positive for your children. Support those things. And eventually the other things begin to fade away. This is what it is. You have to learn what you are tuning into. It matters. This is why they pay so much, money for your attention and your energy on things, right? Keep you distracted. And so much of it, right? To where you can easily, in a second, in the next breath, be thinking about something totally different. It's the power in images, right? And things that they put out. And remember back in the day, they used to have more, wholesome shows, things that did not have a lot of violence, things that did not have a lot of things, going on, drugs and all this stuff that's, out here, plaguing the mind and coercing you to do certain things that you normally maybe wouldn't even thought about if you didn't actually see it on there, right? So we have to be mindful of what, we are, again, tuning into, because it truly matters. And this is how you begin to break the spell and move to the higher planes of existence. Family, you know what that is? You know what that dwells in? The Most High's divine love for you. You think the Most High wants you out here doing the most, living in those low vibrational energies, family? Nah, that's not the life that He wanted for you. He wanted you in the high vibrational states where peace, love, happiness, harmony, the divine love, Most High's divine love, reign supreme, family. And you think He don't want you, going down that downward spiral? You know what I mean? No. So you gotta realize when you're being deceived. You gotta realize when you're being tricked out here. And see things for what they are. And stop pretending that it's not. See, when you begin to align yourself with the Most High and how, the Most High moves within His laws, right? Laws of these balanced universes, right? You'll see a huge difference in life. Your whole reality will begin to change, and it'll be looking like other people are living totally different realities than you, because this is what it is. You create your own by your thoughts, words, actions, and deeds. So people are creating their fates daily with, the choices that you make on a day-to-day basis, realizing that it truly matters on a day-to-day. That's why it's very important that you continue to keep feeding your soul with the Most High, right, knowledge for your life, so you can begin to feed the good stuff that you need to get your mind right. And eventually your body gonna be like, your mind gonna be like, I'm super straight on all that. I'm not doing it anymore. Wait, what? We ain't doing that no more. I am done. I have tapped into a new version of me. That's an old version. You see? welcoming that new you. Peace. This is the new me. I left that in my past. It is not there anymore. It is gone. I'm only looking ahead. And I'm not looking back no more. You gotta learn how to let things go. It's all mental. Let it go. Once you begin to see that's the power, making peace with things, letting go with love, family, realizing that was a lesson that you need to learn back then, right? Remember, everything that you experience for a reason. So we have to learn how to be mindful of everything and what lessons need to be learned. Let's go on. There must be a striving, right, to develop love, right? There must be a striving, right, to develop love, right? Compassion, a sense of service, cheerfulness, kindness. People sleep on this, right? This is how you level up in the rims. It's about moving on that love frequency, right? People think kindness and being, good out here and doing good out here, you don't get nothing from that. But whether you know it or not, guess what, family? You get everything from that, because that's the true treasure, right? From the Most High, right? You get everything from doing good and being good, because it's all about love. So don't get deceived out here, thinking you get nothing from that. Your treasure is in heaven, family. It's not here. Paradise is within you. And you create that peace and that love in your life. You begin to see your reality take shape by what you do. You will be living in that paradise here on earth. And also, there is a such thing as a paradise, right? For the ones that don't know, yes, it is. That garden, yes, it is. So, in order to re-enter, right, you have to transform. You have to break free. You have to break that spell, break the chains of this world, and get back in alignment with the Most High. This is going to help you do so. Because first and foremost, you have to have the right knowledge, that right wisdom, right? That right understanding, right? That leads to that sound right reason, right? You gotta have it. This is what our people are missing in their life. Once you begin to truly understand this for yourself, you begin to do better. Because you would think once a person know, you eventually begin to do. And that's what is needed. It's about action. So let's go on. It says compassion, a sense of service, cheerfulness, kindness, and many other qualities, right? Which not only makes one's life happy, right? But which resonates to others, right? Everyone wants to be his or her best. Each person would like to think that he or she is perfect. We know we are not. Nobody is. Let's be for real. Stop pretending. Yet, despite these repeated resolutions, every person finds out so many times that he or she is less than what he or she would like to be. The cause of this predicament is the ego, or the anking, which is an Aramaic Hebrew word for eldat. It's a Semitic Arabic word, and ego in Greek. And as we say in Iwapic, thawat, the ego, my child, is the cause of all bondage and is the chief barrier to experience of reality. This is huge because in our culture, in our true culture, No outfit. We are taught to burn it. Burn that ego, right? Because when you begin to do so, you bring a sense of peace and harmony all around you. And it takes away from that, it's all about me, that I-ness, right? And begin to work together, as a we, unity, as one, knowing that we all are one. And when you begin to do this, you'll resonate that divine love around you, realizing nature, everything is all connected, even the heavens and earth. We are all one. So you must burn it and learn to live without it, because it does bring you so much peace and harmony. Alright, so that's a good place to stop for now. Again, my family, you're encouraged so much so to check this out yourself, because it's so much needed in these days and times. Family, people need that right knowledge to grow, to elevate, to evolve. And it's on us to pass this information and spread it to the world. Because whether people know it or not, this is what everyone is missing in their life, to connect back to the divine. Y'all better know this. Alright now, so I'm going to leave it at that for now. Again, my family, I want y'all all to know that you are loved so much beyond this world. You better know it. And in it, you're going to spread that love, family, one to another. Be that peace that you seek. Released our master teacher, Dr. Malachi York. Oh, that's right. Peace, shalom, Ashuk, divine love, family. And why too? Because it truly